Mercedes-AMG Interview Lounge.
Here we are. And now we're on 2 stations for the bonus hour, but the biggest stations we have with the most listeners. We're on Z100 New York, Q102 Philadelphia, and we're with the Honorable Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey. Good morning, Governor Murphy. How are you doing today?
I'm well, man. Thanks for having me back on. Always excited to be with you.
Well, it's kind of funny. We're all watching each other in the Zoom room, and you're all shaven and looking like camera ready.
Yeah.
And I'm here with my beard, and Danielle, who's Italian, she's got her mustache. I mean, we're all hairy.
So terrible.
You're looking great. Well, thank you for coming on with us, Governor Murphy, and it's a pleasure to have you on not only in New York and New Jersey, but also in New Jersey and Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. You're all over the place. So let's talk about it. As of today, your headline for this Friday, May 1st, is what? What are you working on today?
We're still in the thick of it, Elvis. I'd like to say that we're in the end zone on this thing, but we're not. We announced 460 new deaths yesterday. We're now over 7,200. That's the overwhelmingly heavy news. The better news is that a number of the curves that we look at are flattening or coming down. Positive test cases, hospitalizations are down, ICU beds, ventilators. That's all good news. If you look at heat maps and you look by county where the virus is doubling and how long it takes, a lot of those counties are looking good right now. South Jersey's a little less up the curve just because the numbers are smaller there and it got there later. But for the most part, this is, we got a lot of things going in the right direction other than we've lost an extraordinary amount of lives. We got a big weekend in front of us. We're opening state parks, county parks, and golf under a lot of restrictions. But tomorrow at sunrise, we need folks to really adhere to social distancing, wear a face mask, don't congregate. So this weekend's going to tell us a lot about whether or not we could take other steps going forward.
Well, to that point, Governor Murphy, here it is the day before opening the state parks and golf courses. As the leader in our state of New Jersey, as our governor, is there a part of you that's kind of holding your breath going, oh, okay, here we go? I mean, it's it could be a very volatile day kicking off another season of we don't know what. I mean, how are you feeling about this?
Listen, unequivocally, yes. I'll be holding my breath. We will be monitoring and enforcing up and down the state. Listen, the great news is most everybody in this state has done a remarkable job of staying at home and staying away from each other, unlike almost any other place in America right now. And that's the reason why the curve has flattened and the numbers in our hospitals have been manageable. But at the same time, there is a real mental health reality and component here, and the opportunity to say, okay, folks, let's trust each other. Let's keep flattening the curve. You've done an extraordinary job. Let's take a little steam out of the pressure, give you a chance to get out there, go for a walk, a hike, a run, but please, God, stay away from each other. If we can nail it this weekend, and the weather's going to be decent as far as I can tell, if we can nail it this weekend, that's going to give us, I think, a lot more degrees of freedom. I should say this, Elvis, if the curves were still dramatically going up, the hospitalizations, the infections, et cetera, we wouldn't be doing this. So notwithstanding the mental health reasons, we had to see some progress in these hospitalization and other curves. We've seen a little bit of that. Let's hope folks can do what they need to do this weekend.
Well, God help us see those curves continue to go in the same direction while we are out there tiptoeing around this and staying away from each other. You know, it's an interesting backstory with Governor Murphy. It was about a year ago. We kicked off our summer and Memorial Day weekend at Jenks in Point Pleasant at the shore. Right. And we look at how different the world is today. And but I will say this. Governor Murphy, your leadership and leadership of Governor Cuomo over in New York State, and the fact that all of you have banded together with the governors in adjacent states, smart leadership. And thank God we have you talking to us every day, not only giving us the grim news about losing lives, and each life is equally as important, but also the light at the end of the tunnel where we see good things are coming our way. So we just have to be patient. Hey, Gandhi, you have a question for Governor Murphy?
Yeah. I mean, as the person that everybody is looking to right now in the state of New Jersey to lead us through this, what for you has been the hardest part about it? And what can we do to make that easier for you?
Yeah, a couple of things, Gandhi. Before I answer that, I just want to say, go back to Elvis, that week, Memorial Day weekend, Friday of a year ago, feels like it could have been 50 years ago at this point. It's extraordinary. how different the world is compared to that. I hope we get back to those days. I can guarantee you it's not going to be like that this Memorial Day, but I hope someday we can get back to some semblance. I'd say, Gandhi, the big challenge is the toughest part of the day, without question for me, I will say, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but I make it my business to call survivors of lost folks every day, a handful of them, and those are awfully tough. I mean, you see extraordinary courage. You hear the stories of their lives. You hear the stories, sadly, of how their lives ended more often than not. Those are tough as nails, but we have to do that. I say this a lot in our daily press conferences. At one point, at one level, this is about math. In other words, the number of infections does derives the number of hospitalizations, ICU beds, ventilators, etc. But it can never be just about math. It can never be abstract. It's got to be about precious human lives, and it's not just over 7,200. I should say it's 7,228 precious brothers and sisters we've lost. I'd say that's the toughest, heaviest part of any day. The toll is more than World War I, Korean War, Vietnam War, 9/11, Superstorm Sandy, both Gulf Wars, Iraq, Afghanistan combined. That's the death toll that we're dealing with right now. And I think that's the toughest for all of us to fathom.
Governor Murphy, I just had the hair on my arm stand up because I had a thought. And I'm looking forward to the day when we watch your daily press conference and you look at me in your camera and you say, I have not one passing of one person to report to you today. That day.
I can't wait.
Can you imagine? We will get to that day thanks to you. Froggy, all the way down in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, where they're on the beach, but they are staying away from each other, right? What's going on, Froggy?
We are. Governor Murphy, I know yesterday you were at the White House and met with the president, and you're doing all you can to get ventilators and more money and doing everything. Do you see this weekend as kind of like, this is kind of how it worked in Florida? We did a trial run where we had a weekend where we tried to open the beaches a little bit and see how people would do, and they did well. And now we're going to enter phase 1 of reopening on Monday. Is this weekend kind of a test to say, hey, let's see where we are, let's see if we can follow directions, and let's see if we can then move forward towards another step of opening the state?
Yeah, I'd say, in short, the answer is yes. We're not ready to go with anything on Monday. I wish we were with the numbers that we've still got in the fight that we're still in the thick of, but the answer is yes. And it's also, it's please, let's trust each other, and it's earned trust. So New Jersey has done I mentioned this earlier, an extraordinary job of doing what we needed folks to do, to stay at home, stay away from each other, cover their faces when they go out. Just incredible compliance. We call out the knuckleheads every day, but there aren't many knuckleheads, mercifully. Most everybody's playing ball here. So we're saying, okay, let's take another big step together. Let's look at state parks, county parks, golf. There are restrictions around all of it. Let's see how it goes. And you're absolutely right, Froggy. If it goes well, then that allows us the ability to say, okay, as the curves continue to go in the right direction, as we ramp up our testing, I want to give the administration in Washington a big shout out. They delivered out of yesterday's meeting literally 500,000 test kits and 750,000 swabs. That's exactly what we need to double our testing. We've come from nothing to the 3rd or 4th highest tested state in America, but we're still not remotely where we need to be to give folks the confidence that we've got a system in place for them to be able to go back to some normalcy. So there's a bunch of steps that we're in the process of taking, and you're absolutely right. We have a good weekend that will allow us to take those steps, I believe, sooner.
I love this text message. I've been crushing on Cuomo, but wow, Murphy might be edging him out in my book. So there you go. That wasn't also a shout out to New Jersey's Rutgers. No. I wouldn't tell your wife. It's getting dangerous. Rutgers, of course. Rutgers invented a saliva test, of course. Danielle, who's in beautiful Bergen County, New Jersey. Say hello to Governor Murphy. What do you have for the governor?
So I know we haven't made any decisions about school yet, but I have 2 school-age kids, and I think the homeschooling is going great on our end, and I want to give it up to the teachers. How do you think that whole process has gone?
Yeah, it's a great. May I ask you, Danielle, what grades are your kids in?
So I have a freshman in high school, and I have a 5th grader.
God bless you. So we've got 3 in college and 1 in high school. So we're living it as well, a little bit older. I think it's, for the most part, going very well, but you can never bat 1,000 on something like this, right? It depends. Right. You know, we've got only in New Jersey can you have 565 townships and over 600 school districts. Think about that for a second. But that's New Jersey. So we've got the #1 public education system in America. We wear that as a badge of honor. We got incredible educators, administrators, moms and dads, and kids. So that combination, we put a lot of money into it. That combination is lethal. I think we've probably done the remote learning, homeschooling as well as any state in America. I think it's generally gone very well. I worry, with good reason, about districts where kids, their only reliable meal of the day is through school. They don't have access to devices. So it does depend on what district you're in. And then the fixes for that are also different. So you get a lot of 30 days in advance, print all the papers out in certain districts. And in a lot of other districts, you've got devices that kids are using. You didn't ask this, but I will jump, Danielle, to this and say that we have said we're remote learning till at least May 15th. And at latest on May 15th, we'll give guidance as to the rest of this school year. My sense is that guidance will come a lot sooner. My guess is in the next few days. So watch that spot. We're trying to make that decision as we speak.
Okay.
All right, Governor Murphy, I know you have a lot of governor things to do. He's going to go do the governor things that governors do. So, do you have a press conference today, of course?
We do. We have one at 1 p.m. Our daily is 1 p.m. We do them 6 days a week. We'll do another one tomorrow, and unless there's something awful or something big, Sunday we usually do it electronically, and then we'll get back at it on Monday.
Governor Murphy, State of New Jersey, thank you so much for being on with us today. Oh, wait, hold on. You're on in South Jersey along with Q102 in Philly. You're on in all the rest of New Jersey with Z100 and Long Island and Connecticut. You're the governor of New Jersey, so if you want to request a song, now's your time to do it. What do you want to hear?
I would love to hear, because I think it's appropriate, a song by one of my best friends and neighbors, Mr. Bon Jovi. How about It's My Life?
Wow.
It's My Life. Oh, Scary, pull up It's My Life. Hold on. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it. Governor Murphy, it's a pleasure having you here. We'll see you at Point Pleasant next Memorial Day weekend, okay?
Sounds good, Elvis. God bless everybody.